Do I need to do anything?
No, we're going live now, so just don't talk. Okay, and we're live now, Adam.
Hi, everyone.
They're not in yet.
No worries.
Okay, and we're live now. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Benchvote Q&A session. We're here with Adam, the CEO from Benchvote. Hi, Adam. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Hi, Rich. Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Adam. As you would have seen, our platform enables brands to get in front of their audience, and I have great experiences with them at the moment of passion. We do that through our platform, which is an easy-to-use campaign creation software, very similar to how WordPress works for creating blogs. Our platform uses that to create really fun gamified experiences like quizzes, trivia, voting, and many more.
Awesome. And how did you actually start Benchvote? Where did the idea come from?
Yeah, so the idea for Benchvote actually came through about 5 years ago now. I was working at an agency at the time, and we were working with some pretty big clients like the NRL, the AFL, Telstra, across sport and their sponsorships. And we kind of came across a similar challenge over and over again, which is that a lot of brands wanted to create good, fun digital experiences, but they couldn't afford it. The budgets were too high because you'd have to create the campaigns from scratch every time. And also there was a huge time commitment as well for us to build these things from scratch. So 50% of our projects never actually ended up happening. So I thought there has to be a better way than this. What if we actually created a solution and gave it to the client and let them create the campaign so they could do it immediately? And so we kind of sat on the idea for a little while. And then one day, NAB, actually funnily enough, with the Young Australian Footballer 2017, came around to us through one of our partners at the time and said, hey, we need to do a voting tool. Can you actually build it for us? So we used that as the very first iteration of Benchvote, the pre-MVP, as I like to call it. And then our real MVP was with the Rugby League World Cup 2017, which actually was the first version of our product where they could create their own man of the match for every single game of the Rugby League World Cup, which actually also appeared in Stadium as well. Then from there, we've kind of taken our customer feedback and we've grown out the platform as we work with them in partners.
Awesome. Rugby World Cup, that would have been super exciting. Are you a rugby fan yourself, Adam?
Rugby League, a little bit. Yeah, I'm a Rabbitohs fan.
Okay.
World Cup that year was probably a little bit one-sided with Australia really smashing it, but it was a great opportunity for us. You know, it was obviously at home. We were at Suncorp Stadium in the semi-finals as well. We got to see our product being used live. I mean, you know, for a product that was just a germ of an idea, that was an incredible experience.
Yeah. The first time you actually see your product, that hairs stand up on the back of your neck, and you're super excited, aren't you?
Most definitely. I still get that every time that we see a product being used by somebody new. It's a feeling that never goes away, and it never should.
Cool. And like you spoke there about some of the sporting connections you have, but like, who is your ideal client?
Yeah, so at the moment, we work across a number of different parts of the sporting landscape. So we work with rights holders directly. That's sort of what we'd like to call our traditional sort of customer base, actually working directly with rights holders. They include clubs like Geelong Footy Club, Hawthorn. We've done work with the NBL and loads of others, even Rugby New Zealand, Rugby Australia also. What we're doing more so now, what we're finding is that we find that brands are actually really interested in what we're doing, and we can actually help them to activate their sponsorship, the money that they're actually putting in and the assets that they're buying from a digital perspective. We can actually help them to better activate that. And then naturally, as we go through brands, of course, agencies fall into that place as well. So we're finding that our customer base is actually growing now from just purely rights holders to brands and agencies also.
Yeah, great. Awesome. So, hey, everyone, just a bit of a reminder, you're in the Benchvote room here. Benchvote's a digital campaign creation platform to engage fans, activate brands, and capture leads. We're talking to the CEO, Adam Musa from Benchvote. If you're having problems activating the Q&A section down the bottom, you can send a live question to us just by clicking on the right-hand side of this screen. You'll see Adam's email address there. So send an email through, and we'll pick that up and ask questions. We've got a few questions that have already been in the system. So how is your platform used by clients in live events, Adam?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what happens in events is that we can be actually quite flexible in terms of how the experience is delivered to fans in stadiums. Generally, to give you a perfect example, one of our clients, the TAB in Western Australia, they use our platform to activate their sponsorship with the Fremantle Dockers. So they have a really simple activation that happens every home game at Optus Stadium. It's just predict the first goal scorer of the third quarter to go in to win $2,000, which you can actually win at the ground itself. So the way that our platform is then used is Tab, our client, will actually go in, create the campaign, and they basically duplicate it every week. It's super easy. It only takes them 15 minutes a week to actually create that campaign. It's then integrated into the screen. So they create a simple graphic that then shows up on the screen at different moments in time. So kind of at certain minute intervals. Fans go into the Tab app or into the Fremantle app, can go in and vote, and then the actual result is shown on the big screen at the end, who actually wins the cash. So that's probably the simplest way that we can integrate in. What we can also do is go a step beyond that and actually show live stats in real time. We have data feeds that we can provide to the LED and stadium operators, and then they can actually show in percentages in real time on that screen. If anybody has any questions and wants to know about that, I'm more than happy to arrange a demo and to show them how that goes starting from tomorrow. So if you can just flick me an email at adam@benchvote.com. If you want to learn a little bit more, we're more than happy to show you how that works.
Yeah, awesome. And you mentioned like the ease of use. Like, is that the main benefit of Benchvote?
So because the platform is really easy to use, the way that we like to call it is that it's kind of a blend of almost Canva and WordPress. It's similar to how WordPress works, to create a blog. Benchvote is very similar in that you fill out certain sections and then the campaign is actually generated. It's similar to Canva in the sense that we have a range of off-the-shelf templates that are ready to go. Just put in your brand and then the campaign is created. So in that model and the way that we operate, it vastly reduces the cost of creating a campaign because it's instant. And it also reduces the time impact because, again, you can create that campaign in more or less instantly. So that's where the cost and the actual time benefit happens of using a platform like ours, as opposed to going through, kind of getting it actually built from scratch every single time.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. And so I don't need to be technical at all to be able to use Benchvote?
No, definitely not. We actually find that generally our platform actually, once it's actually brought in, will be used on a daily basis by sort of, interns, by really junior kind of, people that are new to the business and that kind of thing. If you do want to see how easy it is to use, again, just feel free to flick me an email and I'll be more than happy to arrange a demo for that as well.
Cool. So if you're looking for Adam's email address, you'll see there's a picture of his smiling face to the right-hand side of our screen now. You can click on the email button under that and just flick him a quick email. Also, if you have a question, maybe the Q&A section underneath isn't exactly working for you. If you send Adam an email, we're monitoring the email now, so we can answer that in real time. So so you spoke then a little bit about how it's easy to use, how like even interns can use it and things like that. But how is the platform used by clients during live events, Adam?
Yeah, so live events, generally it's to activate a sponsorship. So it could be a really simple voting tool, like I mentioned to you beforehand with Tab. Could be vote for your, like a prediction game. Could be a vote for your man of the match. One of the most recent examples of that was actually one of our clients, Geelong Footy Club. They actually used it last week for the very first time in stadium as a really simple quiz. We've actually got a quiz functionality, a trivia competition template that you can use from our platform. And they created a really simple 4-question quiz that then got pushed out to fans at halftime. The quiz appeared in the Geelong Club's app and then also showed on the big screen. So you see the question on the big screen, you'd go in and you'd actually enter it through the app or on the mobile website as well. So it's that interactivity to be able to do that.
Yeah, and what's like? Why do people engage with this? Is it to see their name up on the big screen, or is it another reason?
Well, so there are probably a couple of reasons, but we believe the main reason is because fans are desperate to have their say and to feel like they have a connection with their club, right? We all see what happens in the stadium, we all see what happens on TV, but actually having that voice and having that acknowledgement of your club actually, appreciating what you being a fan. We believe that has a huge amount to play, and we've actually built our platform around that. So rather than throwing in walls of data capture, go and enter your details to go and play the quiz, etc., the way that our system works is actually quite unique in the fact that we let the fan engage, and then we kind of go through the marketing objectives as a secondary approach. And by doing that, we find that the result of both is significantly higher. So we believe that it's really giving the fan that opportunity when the passion is as high as it is, as high as it can be, get the actual engagement in that way, rather than getting them to go onto Facebook or something like that engage with at that exact moment.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. So, hey everyone, thanks for joining the Q&A session for Startup Bootcamp Sports and Events Tech program. My name is Richard Selm. I'm the Executive Program Director at Startup Bootcamp. We're talking to the CEO of Benchvote, Adam Musa. He's talking to us about the Benchvote platform, which is a digital campaign creation platform to engage fans, activate brands, and capture leads. And he's just been talking to us about how you can do that. You can book a demo with him, or you can ask a question. If your Q&A section underneath this isn't working, you'll see an email box next to his smiling face on the right-hand side here. So click on that, send us an email. He's monitoring his email, and you can ask your question. So next question that's come in, like who's your target market for Benchvote?
Yeah, great question. So as you mentioned earlier, we kind of have three key touch points in sports. So that one of which is with the rights holder. The second one is with the brands. So we work with rights holders to help them to activate their partners, and then also to engage their audience in things like live events and that kind of thing. But predominantly, it's usually using a sponsorship activation tool. And then also by extension, when we work with brands, we also work with agencies. So our product is very, very agency friendly. It's really designed to help them to increase their margins, to have turnkey campaigns that are very low cost, very high impact. They have at their fingertips, they can go and use to activate their brands sponsorships as well. So those are kind of the three key touch points. Of course, the fan is in there as well, but that's really where we do our best work.
Yeah, yeah. And how have you been impacted by COVID, Adam? Like what, like there's not as many people going to stadiums at the moment.
Yeah. It's the big C word, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So look, COVID's been tough for the sport industry. There's absolutely no doubt about that. The thing that we found actually is what we've done is a couple of different things. We've increased our support significantly for our existing clients. We've been able to actually provide more support with them, more help, because of course, their staff have been impacted and that kind of thing, of course, as well. What we've also done is innovated our business model slightly to be able to actually offer a lower tier of our product. So even smaller clubs can now, kind of get the same benefits as what some of the more elite clubs can use using our platform and get a very similar level of product. If anybody's interested, of course, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'd love to tell you about that. But what we've also had to do almost immediately was look outside of sport to see where else we could actually kind of apply our product. We were able to do that really quickly with a client in consumer technology with Dell Computers. We were able to create a campaign for them using our exact same platform. Nothing had changed, and we found that there was actually another need in other industries. Of course, we want to stay in sport. That's where that's our home industry, for lack of a better word. But it has proven to us that we do actually have use cases and abilities outside of that. Just today, for example, I was on the phone with a chain of restaurants who are interested in using our platform as well for silent trivia nights, to aid in takeaway ordering and things like that as well. So not where that's not where our home industry is, but it's definitely other industries that we can tap into, and we have case studies to prove that too.
Yeah, awesome. So question that's come in from Edward Fitzgibbons. What data are you currently capturing, and does it integrate into e-commerce platforms for a seamless buyer experience?
It's a great question. So the data that you can capture on Benchvote is actually up to you as a client in terms of what data you want to capture. In our backend, we have a number of fields that you can create. So standard fields like name, phone number, email address, postcode, date of birth, etc. And then you can have unlimited options in terms of specialist data you want to capture. So things like one of our clients, again, looking at Geelong, one of their key partners, Ford, have asked questions like, when was the last time you bought a car? What type of car do you drive? So these are all drop downs and check boxes and things like that you can enter. So all that data is infinitely customizable by you, and it's also immediately downloadable for you as well. So you can download a CSV export from our system in real time. Or to answer the second part of your question in terms of where you can feed that data out to, we have integrations as well built into our platform, so we can feed that into Salesforce, into a CRM, into a CDP that you may have. Anywhere that you need to export the data, we can do that for you in real time as well.
Yeah, awesome. Great. So thanks, everyone. You've joined the Q&A session for Startup Bootcamp Sports and Events Tech program. Hi, my name is Richard Selm. I'm the Executive Program Director at Startup Bootcamp. We're talking to the CEO of Benchvote, Adam Musa, who is telling us about Benchvote, which is a digital campaign creation platform to engage fans, activate brands, and capture leads. If you want to ask him a question, feel free to to click on the email box on the right hand side if the Q&A section isn't working, and you can ask him a quick question either now or afterwards. You're also doing some demos, is that right? After demo day, Adam?
Yeah, most definitely. So we've booked out Friday and Monday for anybody who wants to take demos and wants to learn a little bit more about our platform. Just feel free to shoot me an email, adam@benchvote.com. More than happy to take you through and give you an understanding of how Benchvote might be able to work for you as well. Anybody who has an engagement challenge that they're trying to solve, we'd love to be able to show you how we can potentially help you to solve that.
Yeah, cool. And you mentioned working with some sporting clubs. Be a little bit shameless. Go on, promote yourself. Who are some of those clubs that you're currently working with, Adam?
Yeah, so at the moment, probably two of our biggest clubs would be Geelong Footy Club and Hawthorn. They're two of our licensed clients. In the past, we've worked with clients like with Collingwood, the Brisbane Lions. We've worked with the NBL. We've worked with Rugby New Zealand for Super Rugby, Rugby Australia even for Rugby Sevens. We've got a bit of a laundry list now in terms of clients that have kind of worked with us. I could go on, but it might get a bit boring over time.
No worries. And who's your ideal client? Like who would you absolutely love to get because of your blue color running through your veins?
My perfect, my absolute. Well, there are two. One would be McLaren, which is the orange that runs through my veins.
Yeah,
and one would be Manchester City. I think would probably be my secondary.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you currently, you mentioned, and you're obviously selling to a number of customers in Australia. Have you sold to anyone overseas? And what are your ambitions for sort of going global?
Yeah, most definitely. So funnily enough, our biggest client is actually an overseas client. So they're based out of Southeast Asia, a big company that have a number of Premier League sponsorships. So for them, we've actually had to build out full language capability in our platform. So our platform can actually be used globally now.
Awesome.
Phenomenal. And very, very few platforms like ours can actually do that. So it's incredible for us. Our intentions and our aspirations are definitely to look overseas now. So UK would be a huge opportunity for us. And then also the USA, where the market is probably not quite as tough as it is here, but also hugely underserviced, especially kind of where we offer our product and similar clubs in Australia that would be in similar size to what they are over there. So yeah, that's very much what we're looking, even sort of Southeast Asia, to help big clubs to activate in this APAC region as well. Our intentions are definitely global.
Yeah, cool. And can you talk to us a little bit about your business model? Like what's your business model?
Yeah, most definitely. Because of the way that our platform works, again, it's that sort of Canva, WordPress-ish type solution. We generally do our best work with clients when we work with them for a longer duration of time. So either a 12, 24-month period of time. And that's why we generally provide our platform as a license basis. Okay. That way you get unlimited access to templates. You can create as many campaigns as you want. We do find that doesn't always work for every client. And they may have one specific campaign, which is a fixed duration that they may need to activate. So then that way, what we do is, we just essentially kind of offer them a campaign license, which is exactly to what they need, one specific template, or added some custom functionality, or maybe something completely bespoke for them as well. If anybody has any questions about that, wants to learn more, again, just feel free to give me a call or to shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to talk you through that as well.
Yeah, awesome. So another question that's come in, like we answered this before, but just quickly again, like who's your ideal customer?
Yeah, so our ideal customer would be really threefold. So additional rights holders, as I mentioned to you before, we have a lot of case studies and a lot of experience in working directly with rights holders. As our product is used mostly for sponsorship, actually working directly with brands to help them to solve a sponsorship challenge that they have, whether it's engagement, data acquisition, generating sales off the back of their sponsorship, we can very much do that. And then also naturally, as we work with brands, we also work with agencies as well. So actually helping the agency to deliver that solution to their brand, almost either as a white label or as a partnership. We can work across all three.
Yeah, awesome. Another question that's come in for you, Adam. Do you work with or compete with agencies?
Well, as I mentioned there earlier, we definitely work with agencies. We get asked this question a lot. And sometimes a lot of agencies kind of take a look at this and say, "Ooh, don't know about those guys." But our product is very, very agency friendly. And the reason being is because to begin with, it's white label. So what we find is a lot of agencies will just essentially white label and provide our solution to their clients in that white label sort of manner. It's very, very cost effective as well because our templates are already kind of pre-built. So it helps to increase their margins pretty significantly because there's no dev required or anything like that. And also being able to give reporting and all that kind of stuff to their clients is absolutely is super turnkey. So being able to do that really, really helps.
Yeah, cool. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us in the Q&A session. We're speaking to Adam, the CEO of Benchvote. For those of you who are just joining us, Benchvote is a digital campaign creation platform to engage fans, activate brands, and capture leads. Adam's been talking to us about the main benefit that Benchvote brings for a number of his consumers, and that's like ease of use. The fact that that you can you don't have to be a professional to do this. But often companies, interns, junior people can use it. It's nice and easy, and it's a great way to engage fans. Some other questions that have come in for you, like how is Benchvote different from other competitors?
Yeah, great question. So we see we get asked this quite a lot. There are a lot of quote unquote fan engagement solutions out there in the market. It's becoming more and more crowded. What we find is through our approach, which is actually being able to work directly with the rights holder to help them to engage their fans, again, as that partnered / white label service that provides us with a huge competitive advantage because we're not offering something necessarily all new in the market. We're actually helping them with almost like what I like to call the greatest hits of fan engagement is kind of what we do best. The second piece of that is the fact that we realized very quickly that it's actually the partnerships and the sponsorship guys that like our product the most. The fact that we have very, very brand friendly activations and brand friendly solutions is also a huge competitive advantage. Rather than necessarily trying to provide the rights holder with the best experience that we can, actually by looking at what the brand wants out of their sponsorship and working directly with them, that's what really separates us. The data acquisition that you can do, the brand activation that you can do, giving the brand the reason to talk to the fan at the moment of passion, that's our competitive advantage. And there are very few people that are doing that in the market. It's a $62 billion market, just purely in sponsorship. And that's really where we want to aim our product, and that's where we want to go in the future.
Yeah, sure. So the next question that's come in is, how have you enjoyed the accelerator and what did you get out of it?
Nothing. I'm joking. It was horrific. No, I'm joking, of course. It was phenomenal. It was really, really great. I mean, to be able to actually work, I think probably the biggest benefit that I can say is actually working on the business as opposed to in the business for 3 months has been incredible. Just being able to really bed down our strategy, which is, kind of working closer to brands and working out what that looks like, that kind of thing. Starting along the journey of actually working closer with rights holders and also with brands and actually having some of those conversations has been great. Having someone like you, Rich, to really whip me and to really kind of get it out of me has been really phenomenal. I don't think that video would have been anywhere near as good as it would have, if you weren't, kind of pushing me along and kicking me up the bum when I needed it. I think just having somebody to talk to about my business on a daily basis has been incredibly valuable. Like I'll be eternally grateful for that.
No worries. Great. And where do you see yourself in sort of 12, 18 months time?
Great question. So at the moment, we are definitely trying to raise capital so we can expand into those international markets, as I mentioned earlier, to really help us to put people on the ground, people who understand those markets, and really help us to get our leg up and hit the ground running there. The second thing that I would probably say beyond that is we want to release our next version of Benchvote, so kind of our 2.0 product, which again will take us further away from the idea of quote unquote templates and actually allow our clients to create whatever they want, whatever's in their imagination, to be able to create that campaign. So almost in a drag and drop, true canvas style. That's something that's going to be significant, and that'll push us so far ahead of our competitors. It's not funny. So that's really kind of where we see the next phase of our product going, releasing more experiences for fans, actually betting in with them and giving them more and more great reasons to actually engage and interact with the brands and with the rights holders. That's really where we want to go in the future. So in 12 months time, we want to be able to have, our first Premier League client. We want our first NFL client. We want our first Formula One client. We want a joint venture with an agency that we can work on. These are all the things that we're really working towards, and we're on our way. but actually kind of accelerating that with some investment would be really, really helpful.
Yeah, cool. So you mentioned the Formula One client having the Grand Prix on board on this program gives you that opportunity. Hopefully next year with the Grand Prix returning to Melbourne.
Yeah, most definitely. So we're really hopeful that we're able to make something happen there and actually kind of take part in that. It would definitely be a huge tick, a personal tick for me to be able to see Benchvote being activated as those cars are going along, or even in the paddock or something along those lines. I can't wait to see where we end up there.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Hey everyone, welcome to the Q&A session. We've got probably about 15 minutes left. We're speaking to the CEO of Benchvote, Adam Musa. Benchvote is a digital campaign creation platform to engage fans, activate brands, and capture leads. He's been talking to us about his product here today. You mentioned there, Adam, just about fundraising. So can you tell me what your plans are there?
So as I mentioned earlier, a lot of our plans is really about international growth and also expanding on our product. One of the great interesting challenges of being a startup sometimes is that sometimes your clients want more out of you and want more out of your product than you're actually able to deliver in terms of capacity. And that's kind of where we find ourselves a little bit at the moment, where we've got clients that are asking us for new features, new templates, new ways to help them. But we actually need more resource to be able to do that. So a huge part of that is being able to invest in our tech team, to increase the amount of features, to increase the amount of templates, and to build that version 2.0 of our product, to be able to take what we can do to absolutely kind of the next 2 or 3 levels. The second of which would be from an international growth perspective. We're already having the conversations internationally. We just need to be able to capitalize on them and then be able to service them. So it's really about growth and investing into the next version of our product. In terms of understanding a little bit more of what that looks like, if anybody's interested in reading our investment materials, our IM, please feel free to shoot me an email, adam@benchvote.com. More than happy to share our investment pack with you if you're interested in taking a look at it.
Great. Thanks very much, Adam. So just a reminder for anyone that's tuning in, if you've got a question, the Q&A box is just down below. Just send those questions through. So you spoke a bit about fundraising. So obviously that people can download your investment deck, which is to the right of our screen now. Yep. But can you tell us why you think an angel should invest in you?
So we've been able to do everything that we've done so far, which is working with all those incredible rights holders, being able to generate deals, being able to hire staff. We've done all of that sheerly through cash flow. So we've been bootstrapped since day one. I guess the question there is, can you imagine what we could do with a little bit of money behind us? Right? Yep. We've got a product that we know works. We know it works, and we've got endless case studies. We've got endless testimonials to prove that. So with a little bit of investment behind us, to be able to again push our product to the very next level, to really get a jump ahead of and well far ahead of what our competitors are doing in the market, and to help us to grow internationally and to open doors for us. I think we can just strap a rocket onto what we're already doing and really take us to the next level. So to me, I think it does seem quite compelling, because again, we've been able to do everything without a penny. So being able to do that with some money behind us and some smart money behind us as well would really, it makes my mouth water in terms of what we'd be able to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, I mean, great effort. I mean, bootstrapped to this date, and it sounds like if you raised the money would be focused on product development and also like international expansion. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So even our team currently, domestically, we've just brought on our general manager of commercial, Adam Jackson.
Yep.
He comes from BN Sports. So actually, funnily enough, he was actually a client of ours, and he loved the product so much he joined the team.
That's awesome.
So that's a pretty good win there, and a pretty good testimonial in the fact that he loved it so much he wanted to help us build it. And we've got him and Dan Hillage, who is our business development manager / account manager as well. You know, he does a lot of our client-facing work and works with our clients really, really closely to be able to do that. We've hired both of those, again, sheerly through cash flow. So just being able to actually kind of grow and build their counterparts in these international markets as well. You know, the UK, the US, Southeast Asia, these are all markets that are all kind of crying out for what we do. just being able to build on the momentum we've already done and really push for those markets would be a dream come true.
Yeah, sure. And if I wanted to find out more about the Benchvote platform, maybe even see a demo, like what should I do?
Yeah, just feel free to shoot me an email, just adam@benchvote.com, and then I'll send you a link where you can grab a time that's convenient for you. We've got tomorrow, we've got Monday, and then we've got certain other times throughout the week as well. So we're more than happy to find a time to make it work and then to show you exactly what we can do. If you're interested in investing, if you're interested in learning a bit more about our product, if you're an agency, if you've got a particular engagement challenge you're trying to solve right now, we'd love to talk to you and love to show you what we can do to help.
Yep. Cool. So thanks very much, everyone, for joining the Q&A session. We're talking to Adam from Benchvote. Adam's at Benchvote's a digital campaign creation platform to engage fans, activate brands, and capture leads. Can you tell us about the impact that COVID's had on you? Like, obviously, impact. Being able to engage with fans at the moment is a little bit difficult. So, like, what are some of the things that you've done to make sure that you get through the downturn in sport?
Well, the interesting thing about COVID has been that, if anything, it's actually really reiterated and really brought the point home about how valuable digital is to brands. Because if you can't bring people into a stadium, well, how else are you going to interact with them, right? I think it also shines a spotlight on the fact that a lot of clubs and a lot of rights holders only think about people who appear in their stadiums. But if you think about it, and even if you just look at their Facebook followings as an example, probably less than 10% of those people would actually be the people who would actually attend in stadiums. They have global fan bases. And this has really shined a spotlight on, if you want to actually engage with these people and keep them entertained and keep them feeling that passion with the club, you've got to go through digital. So what we found was that our usage of Benchvote actually skyrocketed after COVID, because we found that our clubs found that we can't bring people into the stadiums. We've got no games on. What else can we do? Let's create quizzes. Let's create trivia. Let's create, all-time greatest man of the matches and things like that. We found that over time, our usage started to peak and peak and peak. So, hopefully that answers your question in terms of how digital can be used and how Benchvote can be used during, during these phases where you may have a few fans in the stadium or even no fans at all. Second screen experiences are really what the sort of, kind of the flavor of the month at the moment. And Benchvote was always built to be that from day one.
Yeah, cool. So you've given us a really good idea of how Benchvote is used, like in the home and to activate the fans. Can you tell us how it's like when stadiums are full again? Can you talk to us a little bit about how it's used within a venue or in a stadium once we move through this?
Yeah. So one of the biggest sort of key USPs of Benchvote is how much data you can extract from it, both, sort of first party data in terms of name, phone number, email addresses, but also insights, analytics, sort of where people are, what devices they're using, who they're connected to, things like that. So when you're in a full stadium, that gets multiplied because you can just do significantly more of it. You can also engage with that audience, and then also it gives you that opportunity for the brand to be able to have that amazing experience in front of 90,000 people at the MCG or something along those lines, being able to not only just shove an ad on their face with LED and signage, which is very much one way. It's the brand shouting at the fan, "Hey, this is me. Look at me." Being able to actually interact with them, so do a bit of quiz and trivia that has that brand sort of overlay over it, or being able to interact with a Ford product or something like that. Being able to do those kinds of things are really, really compelling, especially when you have the team story and narrative woven into the activation. That's really what we're able to do. And I think that having people back in the stadiums only accelerates it in that way.
Yeah, awesome. And you answered this question earlier, but can you tell us a little bit about the start of Benchvote? Like, how did you come up with this idea, and how did Benchvote come about?
Yeah, so the idea for Benchvote was very much sort of born out of an agency problem, which is very little time that your clients will essentially give you to create something, which when you're creating things from scratch is always a problem. And then also budget. So you provide a quote to a client of this is what it'll cost to build, whatever the brief is. And then just hoping for it's a 50-50, a yes or a no, we can afford it, or no, we can't. So being able to provide that solution to the client in a big box so they can go and create the campaign themselves, or we can create it for them, but then it reduces it basically takes the issue of money off the table because they can pay for it over 12 months and they can do as many things as they like with it. And also takes the issue of time off the table because they can create that campaign instantly. So they don't have to wait for 3 or 4 weeks for the campaign to be built. They can click a few buttons and the campaign is generated in a few minutes. Being able to do that is really, really helpful and really valuable, we found. So now we want to share that story with people around the world. And if you're interested in learning a bit about that as well, just flick me an email, adam@benchvote.com. More than happy to take you through it and show you that in a bit more detail too.
Yeah, so you talked there about how easy it is to use. Like if I am interested in booking a time to have a look at the platform, you mentioned, send you an email.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just adam@benchvote.com. Easiest way for us to be able to do that.
Great. And your email address is over on the right-hand side next to this player. So you platform, you spoke about the use for sports, but like who are your ideal customers and what have you found are some of the engagement templates that have worked really, really well?
Yeah, so ideal clients is an interesting one. The beautiful thing about our product is that it's actually completely sport agnostic. So we can service a rugby league client as well as we can service a football client as well. Obviously showing my English route there by saying football, as much as we can service a Formula One team or an IndyCar team or a NASCAR team or someone like that. It's totally sport agnostic. So in terms of I'd probably talk to more about the ideal section of the market. So I believe at the moment, kind of based on where our product is, that your Chelseas, your Man Uniteds, your Man Cities, those kinds of guys have probably already got really good engagement solutions either through agencies and they've got the money to be able to do that. Where we believe that we can do our best work is probably a step below that, where the clubs may not have mega budgets where they can afford to build everything from scratch and that kind of thing, where they're looking for something that's repeatable and templateable. So the AFL would be a perfect example of that. The NRL, sort of like the Premier League teams, sort of your Leicester Cities of the world and those kinds of teams, where they probably don't have those mega budgets, but they've still got enough money to be able to get something done. That's where we would do our best work because again, that templatable, repeatable sort of model works really well. They can pay one flat fee and they know exactly what they're going to be able to do for the whole year. Those would probably be our ideal clients. So what we're currently servicing in the AFL, and then kind of those sort of counterparts by revenue or by team size, whatever you want to look at, kind of elsewhere in the world. That's really where we feel we can do our best work.
Yeah, sure. And you spoke about how basically you're communicating with fans in their moment of passion, connecting them with the brands. Like where do you see the product going? Where's this space going in the next sort of 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, I think digital is really again, so COVID's really brought it to the forefront of just what digital is and what it can do, especially and even from a sponsorship perspective as well, where selling a jersey sponsorship or selling signage at the stadium and things like that. If that stuff is all rendered worthless, then digital becomes unbelievably more valuable, right? Because it works 24/7, it works 365 days a year. So that's where I believe that the market is going to go.
Yep.
And in a lot of ways, the second wave of COVID and depending on what happens in sport is really all it's going to do is drive that point home that people, myself and and my peers have been talking about for years, that digital presents unlimited revenue generation opportunities. Right, and it's something you can create infinite experiences around, whereas signage and jerseys and things like that, you can only sell them once. So being able to do that and really tap into that, we feel that clubs are going to be looking at doing that more and more, and rights holders in general. Brands are also going to pick up on that as well. One of the things that we found is that brands are really keen on doing more lead acquisition and more and essentially attributing their sponsorship to how many cars they can sell or how many insurance products they can sell, how many bank accounts they can open, that kind of thing. That's again where our product works really, really well. So we can actually work directly with the brand to help them to do that through their sponsorships. So if a bank has a cricket sponsorship as an example, and they're looking to sell more credit cards or more home loans, we can help to do much more of that as well through our product. So actually using the gamified piece to be able to lead generate and then being able to put them through a flow to convert them.
Yeah, great, awesome. So we're coming to the last few minutes of our Q&A session. We've been speaking with Adam from Benchvote. Some of the things that he's mentioned in there, like if you are interested in connecting with him, you can send him an email at adam.benchvote.com. Like his email address is to the right of this screen right now. You're also running some product demos. That's right, Adam?
Absolutely, yeah. So if you're interested in getting a product demo, just feel free to reach out, adam@benchvote.com. We're more than happy to book in a time that's convenient for you and take you through our platform and how we can help.
Cool. And you've also got a round that you've just opened. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and how people can get involved?
Yeah, most definitely. So up to date, we've been completely bootstrapped. And what we're looking at doing now is actually strapping a bit of a rocket on what we're doing and actually kind of growing internationally and also reinvesting into our product to release the next phase of Benchvote, which will include some incredible features, a completely overhauled UX. So it now becomes truly drag and drop, only limited by our clients' imagination and what they can do, which again pushes us far ahead of what our competitors can do and loads of other things like that. And then international expansion is really kind of the second piece of that. So we're already in the middle of a lot of those conversations. We need a little bit to be able to really take advantage of them and provide additional value in those other markets as well.
Yeah, great. We just had a late question come in from Pat. He wanted to ask, with COVID, has this impacted your go-to-market strategy? Have new opportunities opened up? So you answered this a little bit earlier on, but maybe just go through that again.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. So yeah, as I mentioned before, what it's done is it's actually opened up new opportunities for us. So in terms of affecting our go-to-market strategy, what it's done is actually it's opened up completely new industries to us. When sport had effectively shut down, we took a step back and we said, okay, well, where else can we apply Benchvote to? And we were able to do it really quickly in consumer technology. As I mentioned just today, we had a chat with a chain of restaurants. We're looking to solve an engagement challenge as well. Even though it's not our primary industry, it's something that we feel that we can do as well. We can service and help other brands to engage. Dell Computers is a perfect example of that. Who are one of our clients now. Just to be able to help them to engage that audience, collect data, and help them to sell more products. It's a challenge that does transcend sport. It's something that we do feel like we can do very, very well, but sport is technically our homeland industry, and that's something that we'd like to do more of to help sponsorship guys and to help people to grow their sponsorship high.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up our Q&A session. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm going to throw over to you, Adam, to have the last word, but it's been an absolute pleasure working with you over the last 3 months. And I certainly look forward to continuing the relationship and watching you really go from strength to strength over the next few months and years ahead. But yeah, I'll hand over you to do your final wrap up, if that's okay.
Yeah, thanks so much, Rich. Exactly the same reciprocated to you guys as well. It's been a phenomenal experience, and yeah, look, I look forward to hearing from anybody that's interested in learning a little bit more about what we do. If that's rights holders who have a sponsorship challenge that they want to help, or to learn a little bit more about how we can help them to grow their sponsorship pie, we'd love to help them we'd love to talk to them about that. If it's a brand that's looking to solve an engagement challenge or a lead acquisition challenge, we'd love to talk to them as well. Or agencies that are looking to reduce costs and to increase output to their clients. Anybody who's interested in learning a bit more about what we do, I'd love to have a chat, or even just to grab a virtual beer or a virtual coffee and tell you a little bit more about our story and learn a little bit more about yours as well. Feel free to shoot me an email at any time, adam@benchvote.com. I'd love to connect.
Awesome. And on that note, we'll say goodbye. Thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in. Goodbye.
Thanks so much for your time, everyone. Thank you.